So ECL set up an in-house clinical team to allow us to sort of better provide a service for the customers with more complex needs. So within ECL's clinical team we've got occupational therapy, and there's physiotherapy, speech and language therapy and positive behavioural support specialists. So they're individuals that work together. Sometimes the OT and the physio might work together, or more commonly the positive behaviour support and the speech and language therapist to work on how communication and behaviour interplay. And then the others, the OT and the physio with their domains of the more physical needs might interplay, and how that then enables someone to access the service. By the clinical team being involved in ECL and addressing the customer's needs earlier on, it might allow the customer to be more independent quicker, avoid them missing days coming into day services and keeping them out and in the community with a higher quality of life.
Occupational therapy is about supporting people to engage in occupations that matter to them, and by occupations we mean activities. So that might be engaging in a hobby, being able to make a meal, using the toilet, or even something as simple as turning a light switch on and off. And part of my role is to help people overcome barriers which might be stopping or preventing them from being able to engage in those occupations, and by doing that, maximising their independence and quality of life. One example I have of maximising somebody's quality of life and independence is a gentleman that was attending our older people services. He was moving into the later stages of dementia and was becoming very fatigued, and had actually stopped coming to the service because family were finding it difficult to get him there and to keep him comfortable whilst he was there. So a referral was made to myself, and we provided specialist seating. We looked at how he was transferred to and from the day service, and it meant that he can now calm, and whilst he does spend some time sleeping, he can sit upright in his chair, he can have a cup of tea with his friends, he does engage in activities from time to time, and even more, just as importantly, his daughter, who is a full-time carer, gets some respite. Occupational therapy in ECL day services can support with sensory needs in a number of ways. This can range from myself completing quite a formal standardised assessment called a Adolescent and Adult Sensory Profile Assessment. So when the needs are recognised, a referral can be made to me for one of them. I can also produce sensory profiles for people, which may be as a result of that assessment or general observations or recognising a person's need. And I'm also been involved with creating a guidance document to help support our customers' sensory needs, which gives lots of information about what it might look like if someone is having trouble processing sensory stimuli, and how we can support our customers to meet those needs. Like we're blowing a candle out, okay? I'm really passionate about making sure that all of my assessments and therapy plans and work that I do with people are person-centred and tailored uniquely to them. And I suppose an example of that is a gentleman that I was working with at one of our day services, and he'd been referred to me because they were finding it difficult to stand him up from his chair. He was wanting to use his wheelchair much more, but they felt that he was able to. Went and assessed him, he wouldn't stand up, and I kept going back and found out that he loved music. I think it was Elvis Presley that he loved from memory. So we put some music on, and you could see him kind of getting into the music, and I asked him to dance rather than to stand, and he stood up. So I made sure that when I wrote his risk assessment and moving and handling plan that, ask him to dance, not to stand. So, his moving and handling plan was really unique and really special to him, and it made a really big difference.
Well, the speech and language therapy team at ECL, the aim is really to help customers attending day services to achieve their maximum potential with their communication, and thereby help them achieve a really good quality of life and participation in services that are offered. There are many different types of communication that people use. Some people that come to our service, some customers may struggle with speech and language, and depending on their ability and their needs, we adapt the communication to suit their specific strengths. For example, some people may be very good at Makaton signing. Another way would be to use augmented alternative communication systems. And that's a big word for using things like objects of reference, so a cup, for example, to represent that you're going to have a drink now, and it can go through to using pictures or symbols to help a person understand what activity they might be going to do, or choose an activity, or perhaps even timetable an activity with the pictures that helps them remain calm and remain in control of their activities while they attend day services. There is an example of a young man, Adam, when I, as speech and language therapist, first went to see Adam in his day service. I could see that he was quite passive gentleman, he had very little speech, and he found it difficult to ask for things. So when I went in to see Adam, I could see that he could understand pictures really well, and Makaton really well. And we started to teach the staff on how to use these skills to augment their communication so that he could better understand what was being asked of him or what he was being offered as choices. Now we have a changed Adam. He is going round the day service, interacting with others, seeking out staff to have conversations with them. Even though he can't use all the words, he is using some Makaton, he is using pictures, and the staff are helping him plan his day and his activities. He's even leading a picture bingo session. The speech and language therapy team role also covers, as well as communication, something called dysphagia, which is a disorder of swallowing, which means that people can be at risk of choking or can aspirate on their foods and drinks. Some people that attend our day services have got this condition, dysphagia, and they can benefit from the speech and language therapy input to help them get a safe eating plan in place. And that is something that speech therapists at ECL can assist with.
The aims of the physio, we as a ECL physio teams working, helping our customer mostly with a wide range of neurological conditions. Neurological conditions are the problems with brains, with spinal cord, peripheral nerves. So these people mostly got a functional problem with their mobility, with balance, decrease or reduce range of movements, and muscle strength.
Is it okay? Yeah.
There are many advantages for our customer who are working with our physio team in ECL. Our customer got help with their daily activities. We're helping them build their strength, muscle strength. We try to focus on their balance, good posture during long sitting hours, let's say on the wheelchair. So we help them with exercise like passive and active one. We try to focus on our customers' whole body to make sure that every part of the body is working together.
Positive behavior support is a way of looking after people, not only to take away behaviors which are unhealthy or replacing them, but it's also about improving their life by the way we look after them. And not only the people that we support, but also the people around them. So no matter what behaviors people are trying to display, we may think for us that behavior is negative, but for them it works. So if we want to replace it with something, a healthy behavior, then we have to first of all talk to the family, to do a functional assessment, to find the function of that behavior. The only way we can find the function of that behavior is to work with people who know that person very well. When we are looking at developing a care plan, we look at taking into consideration the person's things that they like. We also look at the things that they don't like. We also make sure that in that support plan we put the thing that the persons want in their life on a daily basis. We train our staff as well on another way on how to react when a crisis comes.